Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So if you couldn't tell from the title, today I'm going to be talking about my journey starting therapy. So today I just want to share why I decided to get therapy, where I found therapy, and how I feel about getting therapy, and what I'm expecting to get from therapy. So let's talk about how I found therapy. Okay, this is a story because honestly, I'm really bougie, not really, I'm just kind of picky. I wanted faith-based therapy and I reached out to my church, but we're still in COVID right now, so things are a little rocky at the moment. So it was going to take my church a little while to get me an actual counselor, and I was willing to wait. But I was on a friend's YouTube channel last weekend when she mentioned a faith-based counseling that is offered online, and so I thought, let me check this out. So the name of that company is Faithful Counseling. It is the sister company of BetterHelp Counseling. I'm not sponsored. I'm not partnered with these people. I think that it's vital and it should be easily accessible to find therapists, and also faith-based therapists, because you can find therapy just about anywhere. But when it comes to what I desire, I wanted someone who could give me biblical sound wisdom and somebody who could potentially pray for me. And I wanted to be able to say, okay, God, my counselor said this and I see that it aligns with your word, so I can take their word on it because it's your word. So that was very important to me, and I feel like it was hard for me to find that. Like, I've been searching for the last few weeks for faith-based counseling and it was a little tricky, so I'm super grateful. I have left the link for BetterHelp and for Faithful Counseling and for my friend's YouTube channel because she's pretty dope, so check her out. And so yeah, I'm really excited that I found that. Also, the great thing is that because I'm unemployed and coronavirus, I was able to get a financial scholarship, or financial assistance. I was able to get financial assistance, so that took off a lot of what I had to pay for the month, and I get that for up until like October or November, which is really great. So it was pretty awesome. I did my research, I did some reviews, and I loved it. I haven't had my first counseling or therapy session yet. I have that this coming weekend, but I do plan to take you all on this journey, which is why I'm doing this initial video, to let you know what we about to get into, okay? The reason why I decided to do therapy is, one, because I think it's very important for everyone to have someone to talk to, especially someone who is non-biased. Sometimes our families and our friends and people who, you know, are close to us in life, they can give us advice and wisdom based off of their emotions for us or towards us. Fear, love, jealousy, envy, anger, all kinds of things, or what they think or what they know about some preconceived notion of a person or some pre-existing condition or situation. That's usually how family and friends will give advice, versus someone who is non-biased, who has no emotional attachment to you or no emotional, you know, I don't want to say responsibility, but someone who's not so close to you where they would let their feelings and their emotions for you cloud their judgment of what they say to you and what kind of advice they give to you. Also, I realized that recently a lot of things from my childhood have began to kind of trigger me, and I thought that I had dealt with some of these things, but I would have conversations with friends or church members, and this feeling would kind of overcome me, I don't know, anxiety sometimes, or anger, or fear, or whatever it is. And I want to uproot those things. I want to figure out why it is I feel that way. So I think in having a therapist, I will be able to uproot old things that I have been so very well at suppressing, or things that I thought that I overcame, and I will be able to face those things. So that's important for me, to uproot those things and really face them head on before I go any further in life. Another reason that I decided to go to therapy is because I realized that I pour a lot into other people and I don't necessarily have anyone pouring back into me, and that's not really on fault of anyone else. And I have people pouring back into me on like a broader scope. Like I have leaders who kind of like, we have leaders meetings at church, or like, you know, I listen to church, or I listen to like, I read books and all that stuff. But sometimes you just need that one-on-one person to pour back into you. And I think that I've shut that out because in my past, when I battled with depression, which I will be doing a video on that, so leave in the comments some topics that you want me to discuss, questions you want me to discuss. I will try to incorporate those into that video. But when I dealt with depression, I was the Debbie Downer. I was the person who always asked my friends for help, and they always poured into me, but I could never pour back into them. And so now I think I do all the pouring, and I don't let people pour back into me out of a place of guilt, because I feel guilty that like I'm asking people to help me with my problems, and where I feel like I should have overcome this, or I should know how to handle it, which that is absolutely not the case. Like, God gave us friends and family for a reason, but I have to work through that. But also in working through that, I think it will be helpful for me to take some of my heavier troubles to my therapist, which kind of ties into my last thing, which is not being too much of a burden on my friends, and like not putting heavy things on them that they really can't carry. As Erykah Badu would say, pack light. Okay, I don't want to be a bag lady going into future friendships, future relationships, although, you know, we single right now. Check out my video on being intentionally single. Anyways, I don't want that baggage going into these future relationships, romantic friendships, workships, spiritual ships, whatever it is. I don't want that. So I think that it's important for me to unpack that now versus later. I'm excited about starting therapy. Like I said, it's been since I was 6-7 years old, so it's been a while, but I am excited to see what's going to happen. So the thing with the company that I am getting my online therapy from is that they let you pick your preferences, and I chose to have a African American female. However, they gave me an African American male. 50-50, I guess, but I wanted to have a female because of my childhood and what I went through, and I'm more comfortable talking to women than men about that situation, especially older men, because it happened by an older man, and so I am triggered in that sense. But the thing is, when I read on the counselor, the therapist that I have, when I read his introduction, one thing that he mentioned, which is something that I pretty much live by, is that when people get the spiritual guidance and help and assistance and all that stuff, when they get spiritual alignment, they will become unrecognizable to their friends and their families, and sometimes even to themselves. So if you're watching this and you know me, you know that I always say I want to be unrecognizable to myself. You know, in every new season, I want to be unrecognizable to myself in some area of my life. And so I'm excited to see if that's exactly where this is going to go. I'm curious to figure out who I'm going to be, you know, once I start unpacking these things. Like, I feel like I'm going to be lighter. I feel like I'm going to, you know, give more. I feel like I'm going to allow people to pour into me more and pour into people more. I feel like I'm going to open myself up a little bit more, because I put myself out there, but I also am very reserved at the same time. So I'm excited. I'm curious. I'm also nervous. Okay, I'm nervous that I'm gonna get in here and they gonna have me unpacking stuff that I didn't think I had to unpack, things that I thought that I had dealt with. I feel like I'm a little nervous that they're gonna be like, oh yeah, you need to go confront this person about how you're feeling about this, and it might be something from childhood, you know, it might be something that I feel like I don't really want to confront this person, because let's be real, your girl don't really like confrontation. I don't, but I understand that's a part of life, and it doesn't have to be unhealthy. It's just conflict resolution. And so I feel a little nervous about the fact that I might have to confront others or myself about these past events or current events, and that makes me nervous. So, but I know that the therapy is there to help me learn how to do that and to help me do it, so that I will heal at the end of it, and I will be whole, because that is the goal in life, to be whole. I just want to be whole and holy and all that stuff. So I'm going to therapy. So, I mean, is therapy for everyone? I think that it's very important for everyone to have somebody to talk to. I think that it's important for everyone to have somebody non-biased to talk to. Whether that is, I don't know, a pastor that you're not really that close to, but that you can just go and sit down and talk to, or a therapist, or a life coach, because life coaching is a thing. My friend, I didn't know it was a thing until she signed up to be a life coach, and then she sat down through some of her like role plays and worked with me and my friend, and I was like, oh, I kind of like this, but also they're expensive. It's a luxury to have a life coach, but one day your girl will have one, because one day I'ma be rich, okay? Speaking it into existence, speak those things that be not as though they were, okay? We manifesting through God over here, all right? And I will have a life coach. I will have a therapist. I think it's important for everyone to have somebody that they can talk to, because life is always tugging and stretching and pulling and pushing and pressing and squeezing at us, that like sometimes we just need like someone to just vent to, even if it's just to talk, even if you don't want them to say anything and you just want to talk and just let them listen. That is also okay, and I think it's important to have that person. Whether you do faith-based or just regular counseling, that is completely up to you. I told you my reasoning for doing it. If that's, well, if you want that to be your reason too, if you want someone who you can align their advice with God's word, then I would say go with faithful counseling, or at least a faith-based counseling or therapy. But yeah, I think that it's important to do that. So let me know in the comments, have you gone to therapy? Did you like it? What was your experience? Did you love it, hate it, like it? Could you do with or without it? Have you ever tried BetterHelp, or have you ever tried faithful counseling? If so, let me know in the comments. Share with me what you want to talk about in the future. I will say that one thing, while I haven't had my therapy session yet, one thing that they do offer is webinars or groupinars, where there will be an overall topic, and they will they'll have like a instructor basically give a presentation on the topic. So this week I did go to one that was self-confidence and self-esteem, which that was something I always battled with, and something that I'm constantly trying to make sure that I'm on top of. And I thought it was very insightful. I loved it. And that's information that once we were done with it, I went and I wrote and I reflected, and I was like, wow, like this is really cool, whatever. And like, I like this. And those are things that I want to share with you all in the future, like things that I discovered through going to therapy. And so if you have any topics that you want me to kind of like pinpoint or whatever, just leave them in the comments below. Let me know. Talk with me, okay? Because we need more mental health out here, more mental wellness, because the world, it's a crazy place, you know? And we all got to get through it. We all got to be here. And I want us all to be here. I don't want the world to overcome us, because like we are overcomers, all right? So let's talk about it. Start up some conversations in the comments. I want to talk with y'all. I want to communicate, okay? Like, share this video, subscribe to the channel, invite people in, do what you got to do. I will talk to y'all later, okay? Bye-bye.